And we're back. Did you miss me? Of course you did. I'm delightful. Still wearing this paisley shirt. I want you to hit 100 people. Not hit 100 people. I want to hit 100 subscribers. I'm still getting used to this YouTube lingo. And I want to address my pronunciation of scone in the previous video because that's the proper pronunciation taught to me by the people on Father Brown Mysteries. Specifically, Mrs. McCarthy. She would know. Hers are award-winning. So if you say scone, stop it and say scone. Is it obnoxious? Yes, it is. Why I like to do it. So we are reading Almost Odis by me, Dusty Thompson. If you're following along, we're on page 246. The blog dated Monday, April 22nd, 2013, Narcoleptic Wildebeests at Church. That's 3 words you didn't think you were going to ever hear in a row, did you? The dad loves to drink Kool-Aid, and since he moved in with me, I have gotten used to him drinking it sugar-free. I've gotten him used to drinking it sugar-free. I initially tricked him, but by the time he figured it out, he'd admitted to liking it and would rather break his own nose than admit I got one over on him. I know, fake sugar does as much harm, blah, blah, blah. Since he is a diabetic, I think it's less bad for him, don't you? And if you don't, then you need to keep it to yourself. I must live with this narcoleptic wildebeest, not you. When I asked him his favorite flavor, he said, red. Full disclosure, what he said was, if God made something better than red Kool-Aid, he kept it to himself. And if you're Southern, red is a flavor, most especially at Vacation Bible School. Those who were raised in the landmass known as God's country know full well to what I am referring. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this school, let me start by saying I am saddened but not shocked, and bless your poor heathen hearts, I will not blame you for the failings of your family and or community. Vacation Bible School is exactly what you think. A school where you learn about the Bible while you're on vacation from regular school. Baptists are pious, slightly judgmental, and not very clever when it comes to naming things. They're very literal. Hey, all the Baptists. And there are snacks like those butter cookies shaped like flowers you could store on your finger until you ate them. And Kool-Aid, always red Kool-Aid. It never occurred to any of us there were other options for beverages. Orange Kool-Aid wasn't Kool-Aid, it was Tang. And purple Kool-Aid was and is gross, just like purple Jolly Ranchers are gross. If you actually like the purple ones, you need to do some inward reflection. Seriously. Most purple things I find to be not delicious, except for like blueberry jam. Because even when Ben's been introducing me to all the Filipino food, and I love all the Filipino food, ube, which is purple, is disgusting. Ugh. I didn't like it at all. So if they offer you ube, say no thank you. Everything else you should try because it's delicious. Some of the other unique things about Vacation Bible School were saying not only the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag, but also to the Christian flag and the Bible. I assure you I am not kidding. Also, the older kids got the opportunity to pray out loud for the first time. Let me tell you, it is a terrifying activity. You don't know stress like a 12-year-old who is desperate to sound both reverential enough to not be smitten from on high by Jesus, yet blasé enough about it to not be picked last in kickball during the activity period. And I used to think I was nervous about praying out loud due to my age. I found it was not the case, at least in my family. My mother, as we have discussed, was 5'2" of Jesus coming at you in white kids, practically glowing with love and devotion and sometimes Elmer's glue, as she was often in charge of arts and crafts. She would pray at the drop of a hat, and always with the conviction, and sometimes in the King James English, which is interesting whenever she did it at Pizza Hut. The dad, on the other hand, was never at church enough to pray about anything other than enough pork roast for second helpings at the fifth Sunday's dinners on the ground. The running joke at most of our churches was my mother had made up the dad to have a father for her children, as he was typically working on Sundays, as you often must when your labor is of the manual variety, and you don't work at Chick-fil-A. On one of his irregular visits to church, the good preacher, thinking he was dealing with your average man, asked the dad to close the sermon with a prayer. My siblings and I said very quick prayers begging Jesus not to strike the dad down should he inadvertently cuss or say something inappropriate, as he is wont to do. To our and the congregation's surprise and confusion, we heard our mother inhale sharply and suddenly start praying. At the end of her eloquent prayer, everyone wondered but didn't dare ask why she had stepped in so quickly, not knowing the sharp inhale was due to the dad elbowing her to pray, as I think he too worried about cussing or worse in the house of the Lord. When in doubt, send in the pros. Can I get an amen? All you Baptists on the back, give one up. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks.